Forever, I wanna wake up to you. Brushing you off to make up with you. Do all the hoops to lay out with you. Lay out with you. Forever, I wanna wake up to you. Brushing you off to make up with you. Do all the hoops to lay out with you.
Crazy, sexy,
yeah,
cool.
Hey, what all you been through? All clean, all mean, tell me what is the truth. Cool, can me and you be two, then we be one. Never keep the score, almost been done. Cause God's still working and he ain't done. Wouldn't try to search, cause there ain't another one. All right, man.
Hello. Welcome. Thanks for coming.
Who are you?
Who am I?
Yes.
I am Ambrosia Britney.
I am Philip-Joe.
And this is
Britney+Joe.
Yes, we're so excited. We love our new space. We're still getting used to it. This is the third episode, but we're getting used to it.
All right.
Yeah. Love it. Shout out to Empowerment Central. We just love being in our new home.
Yeah.
In our new space.
Awesome, man.
Yep. And also shout out to thelambclothing.com and the Lamb Boutique. Get all your cute items.
What's that
Sunglasses
website?
and shorts and all that stuff. Thelambclothing.com.
Okay.
Yep. So what you been up to?
Man, nothing. Kids.
Oh.
Kids and coming out of a pandemic and vaccinations and working 9 to 5s, man.
All of the above.
All the above. Common human experience right now. So we've been popping off.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, that's a lot of work. The trying to manage the job and manage our other businesses.
Yep.
And manage the hybrid learning.
Oh.
Hybrid
learning meant like your kid go to school on Monday and Wednesday or Tuesday and Thursday.
Right.
And then some days it's either 12 to 3 or like
or
8:30
to 12:30.
Yeah.
Yep.
Somebody got to be home to pick them up. Like somebody got jobs. You know what I'm saying? Like how working parents supposed to do that? So shout out to all
has
y'all.
missed the bus a few times.
We're not gonna talk about that. You know, our 5-year-old.
Who had to pick her up from the school?
See, I decided I wanted her to be picked up from the school because that way I knew that she was stationary at one place, and I know that even if I'm late, she's always there. You know,
I didn't planning on being late.
No, I'm just saying if in the event. But you wanted her to be able to get on the bus, and I was like, I didn't want her to be on the bus.
You know, Shanoa is very independent. She's only 5. She's almost 6, but she is very independent. She was very adamant about riding the bus with her friends, and you know, she missed the first part of being in kindergarten and going to school.
Because of the pandemic,
and she's very social. She really needs that emotionally and socially to be able to go to school. So she was like, I want to get on the school bus. I said, you got to talk to your dad about that. He's like, I'll just take her.
I said, no, I'll just take her. But so I finally gave in, man. It's having daughters. Yeah. So I finally gave in, and she, you know, I missed getting up there, I think, twice. When she was supposed to get dropped off, and they had to circle back around, and then she got left at the school. Well, not left, but they took her back to the school.
She got left at the school.
I came back.
You can't be doing my baby like
she
that.
said, Dad, I'm so sad. Where were you?
I
said, your mama set me up. That's what happened.
You blame me.
I said, your mama set me up, man.
Lesson 1, don't blame the other parent. We are united.
Man. Awesome. But you look nice, though.
Thank you, sweetie.
Yeah. You should tell them who got you right.
Oh, yes. Shout out to Pretty Gorge, Erica Green, Glam Squad, all in one.
Yeah.
Plus, she's going to get an assistant, so she's on her stuff. Yes.
That's dope, man. That's dope. Well, man, so, man, we've been excited, man. So, episode 3, man, we are here. We are in it, bro. And so today, man, our topic is going to be Black therapy.
Yes.
Black therapy.
How is it different than regular therapy? Like, why? How are we talking about specifically Black therapy?
Well, so the thing that we have to talk about today was like, what's the benefits of getting therapy from someone who shares your ethnicity? Like,
okay.
Is there a
That's
benefit
what we're
to that?
focusing on.
Yeah, we're focusing on that. And then, like, what's taboo about it?
Yeah.
You know? So, like, so what would you think would
be
something?
A lot of people have some reservations.
Okay.
Like, I feel like I hear a lot of people, like, maybe it's more in the church, but some people are like, I don't know if I want to do it, or I don't know. I talk to my pastor. I talk to, you know what I'm saying? I talk to my best friend. She's like my therapist.
Okay.
But it's like, some people, you need a little bit more, someone who's been trained.
Right, in that field.
Yes.
Okay, so what do you think about this, though? Like, the shared experiences, like what, like, if somebody's like, first, I just want to go to a Black therapist.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think is the benefit of that?
Yeah. Well, I think that when you are able to speak to someone and tell them your experience and they've had some type of similar experience, they can kind of relate a little more. Not that someone who's not of the same ethnicity, you can't relate, but they kind of get things. You don't have to explain as much. They kind of already get it, or they already understand. So like, and especially when it comes to language or some our words, you know, more urban, or just culturally, things that we have, that we do in our house, or that our parents do, or that we do in generations, that they may get more easily, and they may understand it a little more quickly.
So like one of the benefits, like she talked about, is just like, you know, somebody who can decode. You don't have to code switch for, because it's hard to like get therapy from someone that you have to code switch for. And I'm not saying that
you feel like you have to.
When you feel like you have to code switch for them, you know? So I'm not against, like, you know, people getting therapy from like other ethnicities or whatnot, but I think a value in having like a black therapist is that, you know, you could be totally stripped down, you know?
But that also may or may not help with gender as well. Some people feel like, oh, I would rather go to a male, or I'd rather go to, because I feel like more of my problems are with my father, or with my, you know what I'm saying? With my brother, or someone may feel more comfortable with the female in general. Or if you're going to couples therapy, and someone's like, well, they're just going to have your side. I don't want to go to no female because she's going to have your side. Or, you know what I mean? That might be something that comes up. So I feel like people are just apprehensive, especially black people are apprehensive in general, because they just kind of want to feel like, we kind of have this thing where we want to just do things ourselves and we just work through it. Like we talked about before in the other episode. It's like we go through things, we go through trauma, we go through life experiences, and then we're just like, well, let me just go to work the next day. Gotta keep moving, you know, gotta make that money, gotta pay the rent. And we never take the time to process correctly. Not drinking, sleeping with people, smoking, you know what I'm saying? Self-medicating, but actually going through a process of evaluating our relationships and the traumas that we've been through.
So why is therapy like taboo in the black culture?
I think that a lot of it from my experience, a lot of it stems from maybe from some church. Some church learning, mislearning, I guess, of like, I'm not getting ungodly counsel. I kind of hear that a lot. Like, it can't be a Christian therapist, then I'm not going. And then they don't even take the time to find a Christian therapist. So it's like, it's not
so then I just don't get therapy at all.
Or they say, you know, I'm just going through my church. And it's like, that's okay to have spiritual guidance and therapy, but there's also people who are in a profession who have like a psychological understanding as well. I know you did some type of study on it.
No, I mean, like, because I know a lot of the times in our, especially black, like, I think the black church has also contributed to therapy being taboo within the black culture, right? One of the main scriptures used is, you know, Psalms 1:1, you know, blessed is the man who doesn't walk in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, or sit at the seat of mockers, right? And so we look at that and we're just like, yep, if they ain't saved, I don't need it. You know what I'm saying? Like, only therapist I need is Jesus. You know what I'm saying? That's all I need. He's the wonderful counselor, as the Bible would say. So I don't need to go to no counseling, you know? And so, but there's a big difference between, you know, biblical counseling and psychological counseling. You know, I think that biblical counseling deals with the root of our issue, which is like, you know, sin in your soul or whatnot. And then like psychological counseling has to do with what is broken within your mind. You know what I'm saying? It's something that's broken within your mind.
Because we'll go to a doctor. If we have something going on with our leg.
You break your leg, you go to a doctor. Jesus is a healer. But if you broke your leg, you still would go to a doctor. You know what I'm saying? And so why not, if you have a broken mind, go to a therapist? You see what I'm saying? And so we have demonized something without fully understanding it all. And like you talked about before, you talked about like, these are professions in your field. Like your pastor can be a professional in your spiritual care, right? But when it comes to matters of your mind, and this is like, I'm saying it in a funny way, but it's true. But like some of us, man, you just need some professional help. Have you ever been with some people and you just like, oh yeah, no, this ain't your normal, just go pray and it go away. You need some help. You know what I'm saying?
Pray for who to go to get the help that you need.
Right, exactly. That's what you need to do. You don't need to just get on your knees and then that's it, man. After that,
because you have to do your work. You have your faith and you have your works,
yes.
and that's part of your works. You can research who to go to. Sometimes you may have some type of chemical imbalance and you need some type of medication to help. And you can ask God, like, I want to be off this medication, or you know what, please help me define the right thing to get my levels correct. And then you kind of find where you need to be, but you have to go and try. Like, don't use Jesus as an excuse to not do your work.
Yeah. Don't use Jesus as an excuse not to do your work. The Bible even talks about like faith without works is dead, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so like, if you got a broken mind, bro, like it's okay to get counseling about what's going on in your head. And this is the thing about it is when someone is able to help piece back together how to properly like receive information, how to properly receive what people are saying to you. You know what I'm saying? It makes you a better human. Therefore, you can be able to receive maybe what the pastor is saying better now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you're able to be more healthy in relationships and understand more and receive more because your mind was broken. You weren't able to receive these things, and now you're at a better place to be able to receive more. So I think that's one of the ways that the church has like contributed to
and not all, but some.
Oh yeah, not all.
But you kind of hear little things like from people that they just don't want to.
Yeah, they just don't want to, man.
Yeah, and I'm a firm believer in making sure that I see God in everything.
Yeah, come
and
on.
getting lessons from TV shows to movies. You know, we do that a lot too. But even like in counseling sessions and at your doctor's office, like when you learn about how the world works, how he made the world, how he made us, how intricate we are. We were purposefully made. And so it's like, wow, understanding our chemical balances, understanding our flows, and how we process things physically. Like that's all part of God as well. You can see God in those things. Yeah. So as you learn more about yourself, then you can also then apply what the word says to yourself because you know more. Yeah. So, yeah,
it's dope, man. I think one of the other things that made it taboo with us, I think also is just the effects of white supremacy, man. I think some of the things that have happened to us where we were seen as like 3/5 of a human, black women's pain, even modernized, like black women's pain in the healthcare field, not being taken seriously because that black body can take it. It's strong, like you was talking about earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Like you're just strong enough, you could just take it. And so we adopted some of that, right? And so then we begin to just like power through, you know what I'm saying? We hardly use our PTO, you know what I'm saying?
If you have a job that
has that.
Yeah, and that's one thing too, sorry to interrupt you.
No,
but it's like I wasn't used to having a job with those type of benefits.
Wow.
And so I'm just like, I do have funeral leave. Yeah. I do have, you know what I mean? Like just getting used to that, not even knowing people like in my family who had that type of time off. It was more like, oh man, I just got to take the loss. Or I just, just working, just like I said before, just working through it. But then having a type of career, type of job where you can actually go and use that time.
So yeah, just the last thing about that, I think, is that like in modern times, like we bought into it, right? Like because we are superhuman, you know what I'm saying? We actually therefore begin to treat it ourselves as less than human. You know what I'm saying? Because we are superhuman, like, you know what I'm saying? We bought into the myth as well. Like, oh no, we're strong, we can take it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because we've had to, right? Yeah. And so now that things have progressed a little bit, we know we're still dealing with a lot of different other, either racial injustices or things of that nature. But now we're at a position where, like you said, man, it's benefits. Take that time off. Take that time away. It doesn't make you a weaker individual. It doesn't mean that you soft. It doesn't mean that, those other things, man. It just means that, hey, man, I'm human and I need to be able to stay sane.
Because if you're going off on your coworkers, you need some time off.
Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying?
Or you need a different job. I mean, that's a whole other subject.
Right. Stop. But yeah, so what about the parental perspective? Because not only is it taboo for, us as adults, right? But then when it come down to our babies, you know what I'm saying? If you got a kid, you know what I'm saying, that is running into some issues and stuff like that. Like
especially around middle school and high school. Woo, them teenagers.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think when it comes for parents, sometimes we kind of deal with, oh man, like there's nothing wrong with my kid. Why did they, you know what I'm saying? Or I can handle it.
Yeah.
So it may be a combination of embarrassment or shame.
True.
Or also pride. Because, well, that looks bad on me. If my kid has to go to counseling, then that looks like I'm not doing a good job, or it reflects on them, you know. And then it's all about you as the parent and not about what the kid needs. Right.
And I think also sometimes it's like, my mama didn't send me to counseling. My daddy didn't send me to counseling. I turned out fine. Actually, you just don't know you're not fine. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? There's some things that, but now that you've gotten, when you know better, you do better, right?
Yeah.
And so our parents didn't have necessarily that much access to those type of things, or they just were like, they didn't know that was like really an option or something that we really needed. You know, because sometimes I used to hear from us like, oh, white people get that. You know what I'm saying? That's what they do. They go and get that counseling stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't really need that. You know what I'm saying? And so you kind of bought into that. Like, that's just not something we do or have insurance for or even need to have covered. Oh, no, I don't need to have therapy covered because I'm not going to be going. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's one of the things that happened to us as well, you know?
And it comes from also like self-care.
Yeah.
Like, again, coming back around to taking that time to take care of yourself. Yeah. Because we'll just be like, oh, I got other stuff to do. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, not taking the time to do that and realizing the importance.
Yeah, well, they say self-care is the best care. You know what I'm saying?
Because how are you going to do for everybody else if you ain't right?
Basic, man. And so it's just like, as a parent, though, you can internalize, right? Like you said, you can internalize, what did I do wrong? You know what I'm saying? Where did I go wrong? What did I do? And when you do that, you could think that it's a natural reaction. Like, if your child really needs this and you're trying to come to grips with it, you're just like, what did I go wrong? Why did I sleep with him or her? Why did I have a kid with this person? And
it's their daddy, it's their
mama. Like, oh, why did I do, you know, so what begins to happen is while you're processing and while you're going through that, right, you've centered yourself in your child's trauma, right? And so what then begins to happen is now that child isn't allowed to get the help that they need because you're still trying to center yourself, you know?
It's all about you.
Because it's all about you and how you feel about them needing the help. And then they don't get the help that they need, right? And so, like, as a parent, I had to learn from me in personal experience, had to decenter yourself. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Decenter yourself and say, let me focus on what my baby need and not more so how I feel about what they need, you know? And so I think that's a really important thing for us too, man. And so, y'all, we're going to have to do a part 2 on this, man. We definitely going to do a part 2 and bring some friends and guests because this stuff is good, man. And it's really needed, though.
Yes, give us your questions, your comments, so that when we do our part 2, we can address those issues and talk about it.
Yeah, and definitely follow us on all social media platforms as Britney+Joe. We are on Instagram. We are on Facebook,
and we have a YouTube channel.
And we got a YouTube channel, all Britney+Joe. And then also make sure you check out our music on Spotify and all streaming networks, man. And all streaming platforms as Britney+Joe, man. And so, and also Empowerment Central, man. Shout out to the squad, man. And Pretty Gorge, we are here, man. But you did a good job today, and you look good.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I had help.
All right, thank y'all. Bless y'all. Until next time, man. Britney+Joe, man. We love y'all. Peace.